We've already had one draw today in TvP as well. Let's see if that's also... Have you guys ever seen 2 draws in the same tournament? Maybe that could happen. As in the top left, Red Protoss, ShoWTimE. In the bottom right-hand corner, our blue Terran player from Mouse Sports. This is HeroMarine. First map of our best of 3, and we'll see where the game's going to take us. ShoWTimE has been playing a couple different setups. Obviously, happy to play Stargate openers, happy to play Twilight openers. Phoenix Colossus is always an option for him, as is just Twilight Cancel as well. And Blink, and kind of into charge, so... It's the cool part about ShoWTimE, like, yeah, we kind of expect him to play a more macro-focused game, but he's not limited in terms of what kind of macro-focused game he plays. We even saw in that previous years against Kelazur, he also has some more aggressive styles up his sleeves as well. So, you know, don't count out ShoWTimE for being able to bring a whole shebang of different things to the table here. He was the draw with. ShoWTimE drew game 1 against Kelazur. Actually kind of a crazy draw as well. Like, Kelazur went all-in snipe on the Nexus, 20 minerals shy of affording a new Nexus, 20 minerals shy of affording a pylon, Stargate, and unit to fight against the barracks that was floating in the corner. It was actually kind of a bonkers way to start the day, looking back on it. We will depot up at the front to wall, and we do have our Nexus on the way. High ground expansion from HeroMarine, so just being a little bit safe in case there is some amount of aggression that comes out here early. Obviously, we're not really seeing too much of it, but just in case, we're going to begin prepping for that. Nexus still coming through on the natural. We see the barracks on the way, the couple of Reapers still coming up as well. So all of that currently on the way in for the moment. A couple of probes just come down to that low ground. The Adept is going to make its way out the front and begin to head down to the bottom side. And again, that's easy a few moments from finishing here. 2 more barracks from HeroMarine, so just a 3 racks opener from him. Already very aware of what he wants to try and get done in these early stages. Straight into 3 racks, and we'll have a command center morphing into the orbital to go along with that as well. Our Stargate already finishing from ShoWTimE, a couple of probes, the Adept all coming up, the Warp Gate as well. And our Reapers will just be moving around into the center, so away they go. The Oracle and the Warp Gate all coming along now. A couple of probes also popping out over the next few moments. Reapers able to grab 1 probe straight away. The Adept shading around, and the Reapers do hop up into the main base where they're going to find themselves a 2nd probe, make it a 3rd. And it goes down, a 4th probe going down. Great start from HeroMarine. 5 workers killed. Grenade to blast the Adept away, although the shade will be okay. We will pop the Pulsar Beam on the Oracle too to guarantee the kill. My goodness. 5 probes, and you've had the Oracle activate its Pulsar Beam. Now these Adepts are in some trouble here as well. Going to try and run to the corner and try to shade away. That hurt one is going to try and stay away, but it will die too. Horrible start for ShoWTimE, as everything is just dropping down dead around him. Heal drops down, a couple of SCVs get to mining. Stimpack and Combat Shield still coming up. Additional Marines coming through. Engineering Bay coming online. The factory coming online as well. So all of that being brought into play. There's a couple of gates in the Robo facility also producing on the side of ShoWTimE. So getting this set up, getting this underway. See what simulators come down from ShoWTimE over on the natural expansion as well. To have that +1 attack upgrade starting on the engineering base, so +1 attack, Stimpack, Combat Shield, all of that on the way out at the moment, and just see ourselves dropping down a couple of pylons here and there. There is the Robo facility finishing up on the natural expansion too, so again, that Robo completed. This handful of Marines is going to go down the low ground, and they're going to begin to make their way out across the map. Oracle coming in, +1 attack starting from HeroMarine as well. There is the Oracle activating for just an SCV. ShoWTimE could really do with just grabbing little bits of damage wherever he can. A couple of SCVs goes a long way at this stage. I kind of thought he was going to find number 3, but he didn't with the gas workers. Is HeroMarine just going to be able to do some damage? I mean, HeroMarine is the absolute star of just winning games when you've done early damage, and 5 probes early, and now against, obviously, it was a 3 racks opener too. Well, the Phoenix fly over the Marines. It's not good. The Phoenix are not great at defending against 3 racks either, right? And even just controlling the third base area is nice. Another Phoenix actually does go down. The Adept's out of reach of the super battery. Now I don't think there's the damage necessary to go through these Marines, that they knock down the super battery. The Immortal's already lost its barrier, so it goes down quickly. The Phoenix getting targeted. The Oracle too. This is a cleanup from ShoWTimE, but it's an extremely expensive cleanup. He loses so many units in the process, and that is going to be HeroMarine just getting completely wiped out. It's one of those games where everything kind of goes a little bit wrong, right? It's just not really ideal. Now, Command Center setting up on that high ground, by the way, so 3rd CC just going to prep behind all of this. We're about to hit +1 attack. Our first medevacs to just empower further attacks across the map and just keep this game going in HeroMarine's favor. Just keep this momentum up. You know he ain't stopping, right? You know he's just going to keep it going. That's just how HeroMarine plays, and we do begin to launch our way across to the other side of the map, so away we go. Fire Force on the move. As that Colossus pops out, a couple of sentries will be holding tight. And yeah, just one of those kind of games where early game damage has such a knock-on effect, because HeroMarine opens with, you know, the 3 racks, and then to get 5 probes off of the Reapers just means that ShoWTimE is already going to struggle more against the 3 racks than he should. Then he's built Phoenix, which are not exactly great against the 3 racks either. It's just that combination of things just makes the 3 racks nigh on impossible to hold without taking serious damage from. Obviously, right now, HeroMarine gets his 3rd base set up. The 3rd from ShoWTimE was super late, and that's what's obviously even more notable, I think. That HeroMarine did all of this damage while ShoWTimE was on 2 bases. Like, ShoWTimE knew he couldn't take a 3rd base, so he didn't. And even then, he took much further damage, so it's not like he took that damage, it's like, well, you have that fast 3rd base that stayed alive or something. No, he never had the fast 3rd even, so that's what I think is really painful, and the real kind of, you know, knife in the back here for ShoWTimE is that it's not like he took that damage off the back of being a little greedy, so maybe he had something to show for it at the end of the day. He took this damage while being as safe as possible. He'd just taken too much damage earlier on for the safest as possible style to work out. Now, this is nice. He cleans up this first drop without too much issue. We do lose 5 pros. We actually drop in the main base with the other 2 medevacs. So HeroMarine going to go all out on trying to bust down and get some serious damage done here. The Phoenix poking through the medevacs. Medevac taking a lot of hits. And these Marines going to be stuck in the corner. They will go down. 58 probes to 60 SCVs. Not a bad defense from ShoWTimE. He kills absolutely everything. And what does he really lose there? I want to say really not a lot. Look at the army supply of HeroMarine plummet as ShoWTimE finds a fantastic hold. And HeroMarine really felt like he could press the issue in that situation. And obviously, that is not true. He lost out big time. Twilight Council, Forge, the Stargate all building up from ShoWTimE as well, so they all come through. A few gateways coming out. An extended thermal lance already looking to complete in the next couple of moments as well. This additional round of gateways just comes up at the front, and, well, 2 armies here gonna get set to start staring each other down. All of these Widow Mines setting up. The Bioforce will join up into the medevacs. And the 1-1 of HeroMarine all completed for the moment. ShoWTimE comes through the center, just going to be seeing the army of HeroMarine setting up over here. We have a Colossi setting up. The Marauder's going to go stemming forward, and we will have a couple force fields dropping down. First Marauder goes down in an instant. This game really obviously just stabilizes so much for ShoWTimE. He's still missing upgrades. HeroMarine is getting a lot of the tech online right now too. 4 Vikings at a time, the Ghost Academy. And this first few Ghost Pop, he might be in a position to take just a really solid fight. But what about right now? If ShoWTimE commits right now onto this force, yeah, the Viking count's getting there, but there's no ghosts. And HeroMarine is maybe just about to invest into Ghost the Observer. It's going to spot that HeroMarine's army just isn't here, so ShoWTimE's going to move forward. There's a couple of free Widow Mines to start, and, well, he's going to take position. All of a sudden, HeroMarine has to run back up the Ram, and this is problematic. HeroMarine did not know where ShoWTimE's army was at. The Phoenix take down the Vikings, so the Colossi are going to have free reign. There are more Vikings from the left-hand side, though, so keep an eye on those. They're going to come into the fight right now. First Colossus now going down. ShoWTimE's force is just not standing up to the test. I really thought the positioning and the just jump start that ShoWTimE got here was going to be enough to really kind of seal the deal on a good fight, but absolutely not apparently. The 1-1 upgrades especially, I think, there were very, very valuable. And yeah, like I say, even though it felt like ShoWTimE got a very good start, HeroMarine would be surprised to see a 3-racks on a map of this size as well, so that's already something which I'd imagine is going to look quite different as well. As we start in the top right corner, the red Terran player here from mousesports is HeroMarine. Up against the blue Protoss in the bottom left corner of the map, representing the big clan still. It is ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE's definitely had some strong PvTs, and he's bounced back from 1-0 deficits a couple of times now in the tournament in this matchup, so don't count him out just yet. Of course, HeroMarine, a tough opponent, someone that often trades pretty evenly back and forth with ShoWTimE. Moves into the natural. Rax Gasol coming up, the SCV coming through. Once that probe just moves into the main base, it's going to nibble at the SCV. And the depot going down will be getting placed there as well. Alright, well, that probe just continues on a little bit of a journey around. We are going to see it nibbling at an SCV for a little bit. So a couple of SCVs taking some damage. Reaper coming up, finishing very soon. Now, orbital command about to complete, and the factory of HeroMarine dropping into the main base as well. So all of that getting up and running. So far, so good. We'll have our Adept just on the way out as well. We do see the Reaper popping out from the main base, and we do see the Adept just chrono boosting away on the gateways. So Adept will come out here. It's going to see our factory building up as well. Reactor coming through, CC producing. Get this all underway. Nexus will be finishing on this natural in the next few moments. That Stargate is going to begin on the side of ShoWTimE, so just get that set up as the Adept gonna come forward. Reaper gets chased away. Marine's popping out. We do see the Cyclone still coming up as well. It's about halfway done. And we do have the Stargate finishing up here shortly as well. Reaper hops up. Couple shots on a pylon, hops back down. Two Adepts come over, and we actually are going to grab the Reaper there, so Reaper's just going to get nuked down pretty much immediately. Again, Marines, the Cyclone, all of this coming through, and the Phoenix just on the way up on that side of ShoWTimE as well. So, as we go Phoenix on the opening, we will obviously hope to be very defensive initially. With the Cyclone, it's definitely a better setup for HeroMarine. Obviously, if he's going Widow Mine drop here, that's not very good against the against the Phoenix, because the Phoenix can shut that down for free. With the Cyclone, it's extra anti-air to work through that Phoenix counter and potentially go for a bit of a push, especially if ShoWTimE tries for a fast third base from this. Yeah, you can end up in trouble sometimes. You can see the Marines and the Cyclone venturing forward. They don't find anything, but if they were to go all the way across the map, there's potential. It's tough on this map just because of the size of it. If this was a smaller map like a Babylon or so, and you kind of get set up in this situation, I would almost always say that, you know, HeroMarine is likely to find maybe a bit of damage, although I guess, again, it kind of comes down to ShoWTimE playing the faster third base, which he doesn't do. He has the extra gases up on the natural. He puts down the Robo Facility, and it would seem like he's going to drop the Robo Bay as that Robo Facility ends and just play a very defensive, standard start with Phoenix Colossus. Means now Cyclones move down through the center, down to the bottom left-hand corner. The Cyclones leading the charge, Liberator up in the skies. Have the probe come across over to the left side where we'll drop a pylon into place. Cyclones get a lock on Adept and the Stalker already taking some shots here. The Phoenix will turn and will go see what they can do. They left up a Cyclone already. Like I say, because the third base wasn't super fast, I feel like this is not too bad of a situation. We just have our Cyclones locking on. Stalker and the Adept will go down there. Will come up, Liberator gets siege. We'll just have the few Phoenix again in the skies. The Stalkers kind of moving through. We're going to put some damage out. The Nexus gets cancelled. A couple of additional structures get cancelled. So actually we do cancel the Nexus in the end. We never built the Robo Bay. There it is now. Start an Immortal, start the Robo Bay. Yeah, gonna cancel the Nexus, especially when it's a later Nexus anyways. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the latest Nexus we could have seen here. The Phoenix will get busy. They have some energy to use, so they're going to get rid of a few SCVs. HeroMarine is still on the map, and actually with the Phoenix out of position, maybe has more of a chance than ever to do something. Super Battery pops, so that's going to be an immediate defense. Again, still no third. The longer we go without that, the more troubling it is. It's nice to get rid of 9 SCVs. We're actually up by 18 workers, but at some stage we have to clean out this army, and now the Super Battery is going to be fading away. Those Cyclone lock-ons are going to start doing more permanent damage. The Phoenix actually get recalled home, but they've used a lot of their energy lifting SCVs. They don't have as many lifts available right now to come in and help to fight against this Marine Cyclone force. It feels like it shouldn't be that scary of an army from HeroMarine, but it's just getting down the ramp. You're going to take some Liberator shots likely as you get set up into the battle as well, which is probably going to be a little bit costly. Phoenix and our Stalker still hanging out overhead, and a couple more as well just get warped in. We'll see a couple of Marines getting lifted off, picked off as well. The Viking gets shot down too. Cyclone staying locked on, Immortal taking some extra damage, and HeroMarine still just hanging out on the low ground, doing some really good job of things so far. And now seeing ShoWTimE chasing down the Liberator and everything else. Those few Stalkers getting punched away for the moment. It goes down, Immortal firing, just see the Widowmine shots going off and the Cyclone lock-ons, and we're losing Phoenix here. The third base on that south side now, not the initial 30 wanted. That maybe leaves the main a little bit more open to pushes and drops as well from out on the map. And still just the fact we've got these 4 Cyclones, they get another Phoenix. I feel like ShoWTimE is losing a lot of the support he needs to kind of keep this going. Is plus one about to be done for these Marines, but there's a Colossus, and attacking into it. Colossus is never really a lot of fun for kind of basic Marines that don't have even a combat shield upgrade. I mean, Stim is nice, but obviously if you Stim, you lose HP straight away, so then you just die even more quickly to the Colossus. So no surprise that HeroMarine chooses instead to kind of pick up back off. Still missing combat shields is one thing to note. You know, it's an upgrade he should probably get going for himself, so yeah, just kind of forgetting that for now, and maybe that comes back to bite him a bit further down the line. Like I say, without the third being here, you can kind of waltz up to that base quite easily. It's not, you know, too meaningful if you kill the pylon and stuff there, but like I say, it is pretty easy access for drops straight in that location, and spreading out left to right now feels quite difficult for ShoWTimE to defend across these 3 bases compared to before, kind of defending that kind of triangular setup that's just a little bit more compact in general. Love Colossi shots go down. Cyclones taking some initial hits, and we will see this force coming back through. Tank shot goes up the ramp, and we actually have the Colossi taking quite a few shots here. Vikings trying to get some shots in as well. We will aim for the Assimilator on that right-hand side, knocking that down. Here he goes. Zell's going to charge through to the front. We do have the Colossi to fire through. We knock down the siege tank. Phoenix still taking their way through the Vikings. The Medivacs would follow if the Vikings were to fall. Most important is that the Vikings haven't really had free reign on the Colossi, so you're keeping the important tech units alive. And the numbers are evening up, and especially worker-wise, ShoWTimE's in a pretty prime spot. HeroMarine's never committed into a third CC, just double starport, triple racks, and kind of just a 2-base all-in. Now a third CC starts, but it's very late, and I think he's realizing that he's not really breaking through, perhaps, but ShoWTimE needs to be careful as well, because there are a lot of Vikings, and if he doesn't have a way to stop the Vikings, which I don't feel like he does, then yeah, Colossi are going to bite the dust, and we lose one Colossus now, although maybe love then the fact that he's starting to move into Disruptors instead. A great way to maybe change up what he's doing without being exposed to what HeroMarine is already setting up to do himself. I'd say, yeah, Colossus just gets sniped in an instant. Like I say, with the double starport, the Viking camp's been pretty serious throughout here. This combat shield now starting as well. HeroMarine again not having that all the way throughout this has definitely had a little bit of an impact. Maybe least impactful of all right now, where this is going to turn into more kind of disruptor shots getting kills than Colossi. So yeah, probably for the most meaningful part of this game, combat shields has just been missing. Well, maybe it doesn't matter as we continue through. Another disruptor shot comes in, Colossus goes down. Another couple disruptor shots coming in as well, not quite landing. As our CC will lift off and fly down to the low ground. Disruptor shot fires for Marine and a Marauder. Two medevacs loading up, peeling off over that left-hand side. We do nuke one medevac down immediately, so it gets picked off straight away. The few Zealots coming over. The Marine Marauder has to lift off again. It's going to back away from that as our concussive shell is not far from finishing. Another orbital command just coming through to the front. Finally, that third CC coming in from HeroMarine. This is kind of being the issue, right? He's had that third CC very late in this game, and that's why, even though it feels like at times he's done okay across the map, he really needed to do more. If he wasn't, you know, playing this super late third, this would have been a great game for HeroMarine. He would have been super competitive, he's been trading well, slowing his opponent down. The problem is he has been, you know, delaying that third to be able to be more and more aggressive, and that does come back to bite you at some stage, and that's why ShoWTimE's still leading on workers and absolutely still in this, despite having traded worse throughout so far. Now gets his own fourth base up and running. Of course, ShoWTimE didn't have a super fast third base either, so it's not like ShoWTimE had the most amazing of economy straight away to start taking the advantage either. Quick question from the chat, why are these games are played on the ESL version of the maps and not ladder edition? Some players asked me to host ESL because apparently there's a couple of like bug fixes on the maps that just haven't been implemented on the ladder. I actually don't know what that is. I don't know what the bugs are. I think they're pretty minor though. Vikings around the right. Setting up, just gonna see our army of ShoWTimE still pressing up that right-hand side. ShoWTimE getting aggressive for kind of the first time here. So let's come through. Stalkers get rid of a whole bunch of Vikings bunker. Taking a lot of hits as well. Disruptors will get rid of the bunker there initially as well. So let's go by. Gonna aim for a couple of the depots. Gonna see our Stalkers blinking forward. A couple of tanks going down immediately. Zealots continue to charge in. Disruptor shots kind of layering the army. Both players are losing a lot right away. The Disruptors obviously are hitting a lot of stuff here. We actually kill off a siege tank towards the end as well. The SCV's clumped up. We get a bunch more of those. 28 workers killed. And that's going to be enough to get HeroMarine out of this game and to see us into Game 3 of our series. Yet again, Game 3 of this one, we continue our way through this lower bracket. Top left-hand corner, the blue Terran player here is HeroMarine. And the bottom right, our red Protoss is ShoWTimE. Well, third map, decided map to see who moves through to the top 6 of the tournament. Get to play again tomorrow. HeroMarine, ShoWTimE. Game 3, Dragon Scale, shorter map than altitude, of course, could definitely become a factor here too. Probe nibbles, STV goes down. Oh, a little bit of HP doesn't go down, doesn't die, just kind of annoying, forcing another STV to pull at the moment. Factory coming up, CC coming through. It's going to be having a simulator finishing up in the main. Twilight Council build on the side of ShoWTimE. The next is going to be finishing up. Warp Gate on the way through. Second factory. Sorry, a second barracks from HeroMarine. He's still building the factory again. The second barracks going pretty quickly, so going to go pretty heavily focused onto the 2 racks opener. Depth shading out across to the toppers. Obviously, ShoWTimE looks for some information here. Getting this going. Racks lifts off. Tech Lab will go down. We'll see, obviously, now a third rack's being built as well. So we're going to go all the way through to 3 racks of production following the factory. So very quick bio-heavy setup. See if some ShoWTimE will fall victim to that. He is opening Blink into the robo. We'll see if it's 2 gates or if he maybe wants to go more. Two very different options, either taking a fast third base or just really pounding the aggression home on the other side of the map. You really do have both those options available to you. Then Chrono boosting along, going to be finishing very shortly. Stimpack still coming through. Robotics facility building on the side of ShoWTimE. Of additional gates. Just continuing in, so that is going to confirm for us the 4-gate blink opener. It's a decent map for it now. There is the ramp into the natural on Dragon Scale, so it's not the best map for poking up the natural, but there's a decent blink into the main, of course. So we'll see what ShoWTimE can navigate with this. Let's see how his execution goes, see if he can find the damage required to get off to this nice strong start. Starport on the way up. Reactor is building the factory, so there's actually going to be no factory units apart from 2 Hellions and a Widowmine. None of those are particularly amazing at kind of dealing with the, none of those are really particularly amazing at dealing with the initial Stalkers here. We're going to build a second bunker on the natural. The natural isn't really what I'm afraid of. I'm kind of a bit afraid of the main base jumping, but, well, the unit's obviously mostly poised to defend the main base, so maybe that won't matter too much. Do have a single, I believe, Adept or Zealot in that prison, which means we can actually kind of stoke a shot up with that initially as we jump in here. Stim's already ready. The issue is going to be the fact that obviously you use that Stim straight away. These units are low HP. We don't have the Medivacs just yet. They're still building, so there'll be a few moments until they arrive. 3 SCVs go down, and the Stalkers do just blink down out the main base to the low ground. It's a wall-off with the pylons, so the Hellions can't get in. It's a very cute wall-off. Hellions just can't slip by that little gap that's left. ShoWTimE will take 4 Stalkers around the left side. The other Stalkers will go to the front. There's 2 empty bunkers on the natural, so The units are there to the bunkers are there to defend, but there's no units there to defend. Let's see how the Stalkers do in the main base at the same time. Obviously, HeroMarine has to split his units effectively against this. There's the problem of not having the factory units because, you know, a siege tank hero there can do a lot to defend, as the Prism was a little bit too exposed. Oh, ShoWTimE. He waited to see if the Prism was going to live before lifting those Stalkers, and he does get out with that losing it. Recalls it home. Not ideal, though, because obviously you would have loved to have kept that healthier so you can keep on applying pressure. Now, HeroMarine should have a little bit of freedom to come across the map if he does so wish. I definitely feel like that could be a factor next few moments as Stalkers, Adepts gathering up on the bottom right. We will see our bio coming through the natural. Stalkers get rid of one more Marine. As we continue across, Marine Marauder will push on through. We will have that Stalker just going to get pinged down. Obviously, Stalkers here really need to kind of soften up this army before it gets across the map, because you can't fight this straight up. So just chipping away at a couple units ahead of time really goes a long way. Continue to come through back around the bottom. Disruptor is coming through. The charge about halfway done as well. Another Stalker popping through there. And all of these Stalkers gather up on the natural. We're just going to see both these Stalkers going down. There's another Stalker going down as well. So far, so good. Now, Disruptor sets up. Going to try to fire. Fire Force coming forward. A couple of Marines start to go down very quickly. A single Zealot trying to get to the front. Still a lot of Stalkers dropping. ShoWTimE just didn't do enough with that 4-gate blink, and obviously once the bio is fully set up with medevac support, it becomes quite one-sided affair. Zealots don't have charge. They're not as good as they maybe should be against what is very Marauder-heavy force. Disruptor at least gets a clip. But of course, I mean, as soon as reinforcements show up, it does feel like HeroMarine should just have enough to push on through. He's up double the army supply, and he's got a +1 attack upgrade over his opponent. Charge completes at the very least. It's something for ShoWTimE, but he doesn't have enough Zealots to really make the most of it. And it looks as though HeroMarine is going to keep himself alive going into the top 6 of the WardiTV Winter Championship. I've taken a few more shots, a couple more probes going down. And we'll see the Disruptor shot connecting and trying to buy some extra time. Anything we can do. At the end of the day, ShoWTimE is hurting a lot. HeroMarine takes a worker lead off of this as well at this point in time. So looking even better for him. Yeah. Sun comes out, Stalkers and the Disruptor gathering together. Person moves into the main base, extra couple of racks finishing up. I mean, at least we tried to do some harass here at ShoWTimE. HeroMarine at this stage might just regroup, rebuild a little bit, and then just go full force once again across the map. Kind of hard to go wrong at this point. As the Prism loads up. A couple of units, the Disruptor going to be popping in a moment or so as well. Killing off this initial pylon, and ShoWTimE. Well, okay, has ShoWTimE got any hope at all? Let's try and be positive for him, maybe. Upgrades, quite far behind. Worker count, probably meant to be ahead. An army supply is made up of mostly gateway units too. They're all kind of bad reasons to kind of be ShoWTimE in this game at the moment, so yeah, okay, not ideal. You see the 1-1 upgrades of ShoWTimE on the way up, as yeah, that Disruptor kills a mine, but it also kills off a couple Zealots, so it wasn't super pretty. We at least kill the medevac and stop further mine dropping action from coming into play there. Medevac's bio moving down the right side, ready to go. Push on the other side. Oh, now we do kill 7 probes with this mine that didn't get cleaned up before. Oh, painful. Well, I mean, at this point, HeroMarine, then she has, yeah, just drops up into the main base and so on. Love the pullback on the hurt medevac, because that really easily could have gone down. Actually loses a couple with units inside. Super battery pops here. And this is just basically forcing a fight where the Disruptors can't get to easily. Just forcing them to be out of position initially just means you nullify a lot of what they're very good at defending. Stalkers coming through. Another couple of medevacs will be going down. That is just the medevacs escaping out that right side. Observer still up overhead. The 2-2 upgrades start from HeroMarine. He's about to have the upgrades evened out, so ShoWTimE will level the upgrades in this game, but it's kind of about it as our factory floats on over to the tech lab. Coming around this right-hand side, and I mean, we just get with the pressure. You can see ShoWTimE is on a move into the middle of the map just to, I don't know, try and catch HeroMarine in something of a base trade, perhaps? Maybe catch some reinforcements? Not sure what his overall goal was there, but he didn't really succeed in anything. Now he's going to recall some units to the bottom left. How much shows up there? Just quite a lot, honestly. Maybe that opens the doorway to the right-hand side. This Colossus will not survive. There's just too much to split your army effectively, unfortunately. And that means it's GG's. HeroMarine is going to take game number 3 of this best-of-3 series. And HeroMarine will advance on through to play in tomorrow's matches. And we'll be seeing him again probably on the opening match of the day tomorrow, by the way. So